Today on Conversations That Convert, we're talking about 3 steps to a high-quality annual marketing plan for builders. And this is part 2 for attracting opportunities.
Welcome to Conversations That Convert. Each week, Rick teams up with industry experts to tackle practical strategies in lead generation, marketing, and sales for remodelers, home improvement companies, and custom builders. From practical tips to deep industry insights, we cover everything you need to grow a stronger, smarter business. Brought to you by Builder Lead Converter, your perfect sales assistant.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Conversations That Convert. Drew, good to see you again.
Hello, Rick. Good to see you too.
It is prime time planning season, Drew, for marketing for 2026. If you're listening to this here as we put it out here, we've just completed Thanksgiving here in the United States. And of course, we're getting ready to have a banner year next year. So we thought what we would do is put together the outline for 3 steps on how you can create a marketing plan that's going to deliver for you. And this is part 2 of our attracting opportunities. And of course, the series that we're focusing on here is creating a high return on investment marketing plan for builders. So last week, we focused on branding. We talked about defining your offerings. And this week, we're going to get back into pipelines, setting a budget, and then offline and online marketing. So lots of great stuff to get into here. So what do you say, Drew? Should we jump in?
Yes, please.
Yeah, so let's begin here with sales pipelines. And a lot of you may be like, well, why are we talking about sales pipelines when we're talking about attracting opportunities? Because every single type of service you offer should have a predefined pipeline, and it, noting the milestones within that pipeline so you can convert captured leads into a contract. And Drew, I see this a lot where a lot of builders look at a marketing plan in 3 specific areas. So one is marketing, or like say their branding, the look and feel that they want to give to their prospective clients. The second one then would be more advertising or generating opportunities. And then the third one would be more of their sales process. And what I see oftentimes is that when these are disconnected, when you don't have a closed loop marketing system, you leak opportunities. You're spending money, you're generating opportunities. The leads aren't being captured, or you're capturing leads, they're not being followed up with properly. And so it's really important to understand what your sales process is, because that is going to drive a lot of your marketing. What do you think of that?
I do agree with you. You need to be consistent, and we've discussed this also in the previous episode. If you're not being consistent, that means you lose opportunities, because clients will see if something is not aligned, and they will think that this will happen to their project as well, and they will change their focus on finding another builder out there.
Yep, that's exactly right. You're always you're always trying to be eliminated. So again, the number one goal as you get into this attracting opportunities phase is just to avoid being eliminated. Our goal with all of our builder partners is to make sure you have the opportunity to at least have a conversation, and then you can pick and choose your clients and jobs. So if it's not the right fit for you, you can say no. But if you don't do everything right leading up to that, if you're not consistent, as Drew pointed out, you're not going to get those opportunities. And then you're going to get desperate, and then you're going to take on jobs or clients or locations that you shouldn't be, and that really costs you opportunities. So as you look forward as part of your marketing plan, let's define your sales pipelines. And really, you're going to have 3 different types of pipelines. So you're going to have a referral pipeline, which you get organically. I mean, if you're doing good work and you have happy clients, they're going to refer people to you. But the other part of that referral pipeline is going to be business to business referrals, which you're not doing consistently. And you're probably not even doing client referrals consistently either. So that's number one. The second pipeline then would be your digital client acquisition pipeline. And ironically, this is the one default pipeline. So we see this all the time, Drew, is that a builder will get a referral from a happy client. That referral, instead of calling them first, they go to their website. So even if it's a direct referral, they still go and they look at you digitally. Because again, they're still trying to, they may have gotten 2 or 3 referrals. And so they're still trying to confirm like, do I really want to reach out and talk to this guy? So very, very common that they're going to still come to you digitally, even though they were directly referred to you. And then the third, I'm going to call database management. This is your aging and cold leads. These are people that are aware of you, but for whatever reason, they had not yet contacted you. So that's your 3 type of pipelines. And those are things you need to define. What are the milestones in each of those pipelines in order to take that from an opportunity to a captured lead, and then ultimately getting them in front of you. Any other thoughts there, Drew?
Well, I do agree with you, Rick, because as you mentioned, the first one is the referral. And basically in marketing, this is called word of mouth, which means that and think about it, whenever a friend suggests you should try something, you will be highly, it will be more easier for you to decide to try that thing. Basically, this means the trust it's already increased by at least 50%. The digital referral, it's where people are struggling, of course, because there are so many ways on how you can build awareness and to show up in either social media, either through SEO, either through paid ads, and of course through the website, because that's another channel where you need to be consistent across all of them. And these are just a part, but also what you've mentioned, the third pipeline, it's also really important, because at that point, when you have a database on your own database, it means that people have already shown interest in your services. So they are more inclined to decide to open something from you. And you should definitely do not necessarily retargeting, but to reach out to them again to see exactly where they stand and if they're willing to do a remodeling project, or if they're thinking of finding somebody to work with for a custom home.
Yeah, exactly. Every lead buys or dies. I mean, that's our guarantee, is that you reach out to them again and again and again and again. And you know what? A lot of builders that get a little freaked out is like, oh, so-and-so unsubscribed, or they tell me to stop, don't text them again. That's great. Now you know. You don't, they're no longer an opportunity for you. Wonderful, because you have to get those no's in order to find that yes. So it's no problem. Now, you also don't want to burn your list, which is sort of a marketing term where you're actually reaching out too often, too frequently, and most importantly, you have poor messaging, or messaging is not relevant. So that leads us right into, I think, the tip that I want to leave people with here is that stop promoting free estimates and giving away your time. So when you have all 3 of these pipelines, everyone's going to come to you. And of course, if you're willing to give something away for free, they're going to take it. But if you really want to increase the value for your services, you got to stop giving them away. So no more free estimates, no more free concept plans. Don't give away your time. Stop doing designing for free. You want to start charging a small fee for feasibility studies to produce your guesstimates and then your preliminary concept plans. So very, very important. Start charging for designs and do it based on a percentage of an established budget. So this is really the gatekeeper here. So now, why is this important right now for attracting opportunities? Because when you go back into these 3 different pipelines and you're going to say, give people an offer to start a relationship with you, most of you maybe listening to this are giving away a free estimate. That's an offer of, filling out a form or requesting, a site visit, whatever your offer is. Low value offers are going to attract low value opportunities. High value offers, which is going to be design expertise, which is going to be help with budgeting, those are going to attract high value opportunities. And remember this, the bigger, more elaborate projects you produce, whether it's remodeling or custom homes, the longer the sales cycle. So that's when your database management gets to be really, really important. Because if you're doing things right and you're meeting the lead where they're at, the vast majority of them are not ready to talk to you. So you've got to have a long-term nurturing program. You've got to have a way to stay top of mind. And most importantly, you have to be relevant. You can't just keep asking them, are you ready to build? Are you ready to build? No, you've got to be relevant. You've got to educate them, advise them. So it's really, really important to have these all figured out. All right, Drew, let's talk about budgeting. Okay, so that's the next step here. So a lot of times builders aren't really sure, like, well, what percent of my revenue should I be budgeting? You know, what's a realistic amount? And if you are building homes, your budget should be somewhere between 1 to 2%. And I'm going to give you sort of some of the items here that you should include in that budget. So 1 to 2% of your annual revenue. Okay, so what does that mean? Yeah, $10 million a year builder. Okay, you should have about $100,000 marketing budget. That would be on the lower end. Typically, if you're a smaller volume, the lower the revenue, the higher percentage of your revenue you're going to spend. So when it comes to remodeling, you're normally going to spend 2 to 3% because you're just going to have a lower revenue volume, but you should have higher gross margins. So you're going to have at a minimum 2% spend. Probably if you're closer to that $1 million to maybe $2 million, you should be investing about 3% back into marketing. Now, this is really important, Drew, and we do this all the time in our own business, is that you set that annual marketing budget, but then you want to review it every 90 days. Why is that so important, Drew, to review it every 90?
It is important because you want to know exactly how things are going. If you just wait the full year, you might waste the full budget, but you have time to adapt if you do it 90 days, right? You see something happening. And not only that, but there might be also some moments during a year where some special events may occur, and you'd like maybe to allocate more budget there because it will generate more opportunities for you.
Yep, exactly right. So you have to be flexible with that. But the 90 days is really important because you probably need about 90 days of really testing to get good data to determine if this is something you're going to get a return on investment on. And there's lots of things that happen with, especially if you get into paid ads and paid social. A lot of this is machine learning right now, where you don't have control over how these ads are presented. And you have to get so many impressions for the AI to figure out which ads are going to hit the best. And that's typically about 90 days. And better yet, Drew, like if you, especially with paid ads, is like, you probably are going to make your first adjustment after 90 days, but to really get a good, thorough understanding if they're going to work for you or not, it's probably more like a 6-month campaign where you're making adjustments throughout that campaign. Isn't that right?
That's partially right, Rick, because you can do adjustments even sooner if you notice things. But sometimes, depending on some areas, on how many people can be found within those areas, it can take also longer. It depends how much you'd like to test, so you can go to that point where you find exactly what people are responding to.
Yeah. So what I want to point out here is a tip is that track all your advertising spend using 4 different key performance indicators. Okay. So every time you advertise, you want to look at 4 different things. Okay. Number 1, how many opportunities did that ad generate? So an opportunity is just that. It's a body. It's an IP address if it's digital. It's a phone call. It's an email, whatever it is, but it's an opportunity. Okay. Number 2, how many leads did that campaign capture? Number 3, how many of those leads converted into an appointment? When I say appointment, it would be a phone appointment, a qualification call. And then number 4, how many of those calls actually converted into contracts? So those are the 4 areas: opportunities generated, leads captured, appointments booked, and then finally contracts written, sales made. Those are the 4 things you should be looking at any ad spend. This is not just online, but also offline ad spend. Drew, anything you want to add?
It is really important to know what metrics to track or what KPIs to track. And indeed, these are really important metrics because you need to see how much does it cost you and how much you have to invest in order for you to get a new client, right? And what I would add to this is it will be much harder if you don't automatically follow up with the clients, because this can increase dramatically the conversion rate. So
Yeah, you're talking
yeah,
about our next episode. That's what we're going to focus on, is going to be your sales follow-up. And once you get the lead, how should you be following up? But let's switch gears a little bit here. Let's talk about offline marketing. So again, we talked about budgeting. So 1 to 2% custom home builders, 2 to 3% remodelers. And now you're saying, all right, where should I be considering investing my money offline? So simple things like truck wrap, having signs on your trucks. Yeah, why not? Absolutely. Very, very inexpensive way to get your name out there in advertising. Now, are you going to get a whole lot of return on investment from it? Who knows? But just make sure, as we're going to talk about this as tips, is that you can track if somebody does call the number on your truck. Job site signs, another great way to generate some opportunities. Direct mail. Now, a lot of builders just don't do direct mail at all. There are some remodelers that will maybe do some door flyers where they'll be canvassing neighborhoods that they're building in, but direct mail can still be a very impactful tool, especially for remodelers. We like to use direct mail in coordination with project events. So if you're in a nice demographic neighborhood, that it's a good target market for you. You've done a project and maybe you've had your sign in your dumpster out front of one of those homes for 3 to 6 months. We like to use direct mail to actually invite neighbors to come see your finished work. And of course, then we can put QR codes on there, and we can not only get people in front of you that already live in the neighborhood, but also just more opportunities to follow up with in the future. Print ads. Yeah, some people are still running print ads. It's rare. You have to be very, very cautious because these are typically still very expensive with a very low return on investment. Sponsorships and PR. We see that a lot of times too. You sponsor little league teams. You're sponsoring, some sort of a community event. You know what? Very, very difficult to track return on investment. In fact, almost impossible. It is definitely more of a public relations branding type thing. If it makes you feel good, if it fits into the budget, by all means, continue to do it. Referral outreach. Okay. Ooh, yeah, you should be budgeting for referral outreach. Absolutely. So past clients, you want to budget for them. What are you doing day in and day out to stay top of mind with them? And also business to business. And of course, who can you partner with? Who's also in the business that can bring you opportunities, such as architects, interior designers, and realtors are typically builders and remodelers' best friend because they're dealing with the same type of clientele. But there's other opportunities as well for business to business. And then finally, if this is applicable to you, if you're a builder and you have a model home, that is a marketing expense, and it's probably your biggest marketing expense. So whatever the cost to carry that loan to have that model home up, and all your utilities, and your staging costs, and so on and so forth. So that is a marketing cost, and even though you might sell that home and you should make money at that, all those carrying expenses should really go towards marketing. And if you're a remodeler and you have a showroom, obviously whatever percentage of your showroom is specifically for sales and or marketing, if you have a retail space, you definitely want to account for that. Oftentimes you're going to have office and or warehouse as part of that as well. That shouldn't be accounted for. So there might be some sort of a prorated percentage. One tip here, Drew, and then I want to get your feedback here is, and I'm going to pop this on the screen right now, is use trackable phone numbers for your offline marketing. Use trackable QR codes. Use landing pages to determine your return on investment. So just because it's not digital does not mean it can't be tracked. So you can have a unique phone number for your website. You can have a unique phone number for your job site signs. You can have a unique phone number for your trucks. And so that way, when that number gets called, you can track how many times that number was called. So this lead came from a job site sign or a truck or from a website call. QR code, same thing. You can put trackable codes. So, every time somebody scans that code to come to a landing page, it came from this particular postcard or this particular, ad that you ran, whether it's online or offline. But any final thoughts from you on offline marketing and tracking, Drew?
Yes, Rick. So I will say something really important, because offline marketing, it still crushes digital marketing. It's much more uh, important, because when you do offline marketing, you become more personal with the people, right? So you have the track wrap, for example, where people will see you driving that truck, and they also have the opportunity to check on with you right now, right there, if they have like an urgent matter. At the same time, job site signs also really really important, because first they will find that their neighbor, or somebody in their area are working on a project. So they will, uh, well, I guess if they're friends, they will ask for a referral, right, to see, are you satisfied with this home builder or remodeler job? Did he do a great work? Yes, that would be the first thing. And at the same time, if they don't have the time to stop or anything, they will still see information about you. At the end, if you're doing exterior work, they will see how it looks before and how it looks after the project is finished, and that's also a really important, uh, a really important thing.
Yeah,
uh,
it's a good point. I just want to make one note you said there is that you do have that human element to the
mhm.
offline where you
Yes,
don't get that on the digital. So yeah, you're seen in your neighborhood, on that job site
yeah.
sign or driving your truck. That's a really good point, Drew. I've never thought of it that way.
Exactly, and at the same time, even digital, you can show up. So if you are willing to show up in front of a camera through social media or through paid ads, you people can still see you, and it makes more. Um, it builds more trust and authority at the same time. But seeing you in person, it's something different, because you feel different when you see somebody in a daily life, let's say, or just online.
Yep, you have that human connection. Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So very good points. One last thing I also thought of as well is your job site signs or your truck. Oftentimes you're going to put your website,
Mhm.
your URL on there. And what I see builders doing all the time is they say, here's my name, here's my phone number, here's my website. And that's it. Give people a reason to call your phone number or go to your website. Put it right on your truck. So, as an example, we know that for the vast majority of custom home and remodeling leads, the first thing they're trying to understand is what they can build. They're looking for design inspiration. They cannot visualize how their kitchen could be transformed or what their custom home will look like. So we have lead magnets on the website for an idea book or for an enhanced design library. Now, as an example, our enhanced design library has 5,000 plans in it. So when you if you're a home builder and you have your truck wrap or your job site sign, you would say, here's our website, visit, abcbuilders.com to view 5,000 plus floor plans. Okay. So you have like a little rider on the sign and you give them a reason to go to your website. Because remember, the vast majority of people are not ready to have a conversation yet. They're curious, they're thinking about it. So meet them where they're at, show them that you are a local resource by putting a call to action, is what the marketing term is. But tell them what they can do besides just visiting your website to hear more about your story or calling you on the phone. Give them a reason to take that next step. So
Yeah.
very good.
One last note regarding offline marketing, Rick. Another thing that you may do besides sponsoring local events or baseball teams, or other similar things, you can do a charity event, especially in this period of time, right? It's Christmas. If you help somebody, that will not only make you feel better, because you're helping somebody in need, but at the same time, it will come with a lot of appreciation and awareness for
Yep.
your brand.
Yep. If you're and the best way to, it's a good point. This is obviously a perfect time of year to do it, but the best way to use this is that you partner with a local charity. So you're going to bring awareness and help fundraise for that charity. You use it as a customer appreciation for all of your past clients to get them together, so you stay top of mind that way. And then also invite all your business associates, your vendors, your business partners, title companies, banks, that sort of thing. Have them come to one location, and obviously you can say, thank you, and really strengthen the relationships. It's a great public relations event because you have the charity aspect to it. And it also allows you to, again, get belly to belly or face to face, during a holiday season. So very good point, Drew. All right, so we're going to move on to our last section here, which is online marketing. Now, we're not going to get into the weeds as far as, what to do, but I really just want to, talk about 3 things and also just give you a tip on where you should be allocating your budget. So online marketing typically is going to revolve around GEO, or, which a lot of you have heard of SEO, search engine optimization. So GEO is called generative engine optimization. And what it does is it combines more of an AI search along with a traditional search. So that's how consumers are shifting their behavior right now. So as you're looking at 2026, you need to be thinking about both, because a lot of times ChatGPT or other types of AI searches are used in conjunction with traditional searches. So you need to make sure you're showing up on both. Okay, secondly, then you've got paid ads, which is typically going to be some sort of a Google ad, and then paid social, which is going to be typically Meta. Now, TikTok, you can also advertise on that. YouTube is another good one that's considered more of a social media. You can advertise on that as well. And that's something that if you think it's worthwhile testing for your demographic, your target market, by all means do it. The third then would be organic social. So as you are posting on your social media channels, again, this is typically going to be Facebook and Instagram, but YouTube as well. As those of you that are willing to produce videos, YouTube is a great channel to get people to follow you. That is typically where your online marketing is going to go. And what I want to do is I want to just talk about this, as this is really, really important. This oftentimes come up where a builder says, hey, I'm ready to put more money into marketing. Where do I start? And what we see is that the highest conversion, so these are opportunities that convert into leads and then ultimately convert into appointments and sales, come from GEO. So traditional search or a ChatGPT or similar type lead. Then it's organic social, but it's organic social is typically a very, very low amount. Then we see paid ads and paid social. And Drew has heard me say this before, is that paid ads and paid social, everyone looks to that to start because it's the easiest, right? You just write a check, hire somebody to start running ads and think like, okay, my problems are solved. It is a short-term solution to a long-term problem. If you're doing this correctly and you build up your marketing in a way that's going to give you the highest return on investment, you're going to focus first and foremost on referrals. That would be both clients and business to business. Then you're going to be focusing on generative search. So again, AI search along with traditional search. Then it's going to be social media, organic, and then finally paid ads and paid social. Now, there are certain times when ads do make more sense, but if you're just trying to sell custom homes and or high-end design, build, remodeling, those leads take a very long time to incubate, and the bulk of your money should be going towards the basics, the foundational things, and the paid ads, paid social. That's going to be more the cherry on the Sunday, and you can do a lot of testing with those because you can get very quick data and results, and to help you understand like, hey, maybe where should you be focusing different offers, different promotions and things you want to get out there. So Drew, I know this is your world here as well. Anything else you want to add to that?
Yes, sure. My thoughts here regarding this topic is quite interesting, because I do believe GEO, basically former SEO, combined with the power of AI right now with different AI tools such as ChatGPT, is like the foundation of your digital presence. You need to, because this is like a long-term thing to work on, because you need time to build, to increase the domain authority and different type of things that create a lot of content so you can show up, which is more time consuming, and you need to put more effort into it. But indeed, this is what generates the best, the highest quality, compared with the other digital channels. And we exclude here the email marketing, because that goes under, let's say, the your own database. The next one, depending what your business objectives are, from my point of view, it will be paid ads and paid social, because in these times when people, uh, their attention span is very, 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 very short, very low, they forget very easily. Even if they've seen you in the past, you still need to be present during the social media. And paid ads, it's still cheap comparing with TV promo, or something much wider for more awareness. Uh, and I would suggest to do it if you want to stay top of mind. And I'd use the organic social to educate your people. And at the end, if you invest the time into creating content online and teaching people what you're doing and why you do it, people will, well, you'll get some haters, but at the end, people will see you as an expert. And you'll see that it will transform. It will be like a Ferrari. Uh, and you'll start getting leads if you start to grow your own social media channel with you doing the posts, so
Yep.
people can see you, the person behind the brand.
Good point on that. As far as organic social, the numbers are atrociously low when you're looking at, am I going to find somebody that started on Meta, so Facebook, Instagram, and they're going to come to my website, become a lead, and also become a client? I mean, when I say low numbers, we're talking like maybe 10 to 15 per month. I mean, so what we normally see is the opposite. They find you through some sort of a search. They see that you have a social media presence on Instagram. They like Instagram as an app. And so then they'll go follow you on Instagram because they prefer to see your Instagram posts, say, versus getting an email, from you. So you really just you have to be doing it, but the expectations should be kept quite low. So you're exactly right. The one thing that paid ads and paid social do for you is, yes, it will give opportunities to your website. You'll be able to find out, again, if you have different offers, which ones are going to hit, which ones are going to miss, so you can refine your overall marketing plan to focus on what hits. But also it creates, over time, direct search traffic, which means that maybe somebody first saw you from an ad and they clicked on that ad, they came to your website, but they did not become a lead. But they remembered you because they liked what they saw on your website. And then they said, oh, I remember ABC Builders. And next time they open up their web browser, they type in ABC Builders. And so that will show up then as a direct lead. And what we normally see is about every single builder gets about 20 to 25% of their monthly website traffic is repeat traffic. So that's where, if you're running paid ads, yeah, you can generate a whole bunch of opportunities coming to your website, low quality leads, low conversion rates. But over time, if you're consistent with it, you can generate some of those direct traffics to come back. Another challenge with tracking then is that you're looking at your ad guys and saying, hey, Drew, you're not getting me any leads. But you should see that direct traffic, and somewhat so that which would show up as like an organic or a generative search that will continue to go up over time because the paid ads have just given you more exposure. So hopefully I explained that right. That makes sense. And I also should mention, Drew, because I know you're a big one on this too, is that for organic social is you want to boost your posts. Because if you're just posting organic social and you're not boosting them, even if people are following you, they're not seeing it. I mean, Meta's changed that game dramatically, where you got 5,000 followers on your Facebook and you do a post and maybe
less than 5%. Less than 5% of the followers will see the post.
Will see it, exactly, unless you boost it.
Yes.
And if you boost it, yes, then you'll get some more and more exposure. So you should have a budget for boosting organic posts as well. Doesn't take much, but you should be boosting at least probably one post per week should be boosted. Unless you post a lot more than that, then maybe you want to boost a couple a week. Final thoughts from you, Drew?
Regarding the online marketing, as you mentioned, it's really important to find the proper channels for you. And keep in mind, if you're thinking that you should get more leads, you should increase the marketing budget, not to lower the budget, because that will be a big mistake.
Yep, it's a good point, because when right now most markets are experiencing a slowdown, it's tougher, it's harder to find high quality leads. And so you see, as a business owner, you're saying, okay, well, I need to tighten the belt. I need to cut back. I'm not generating as much revenue. It is really easy to go back and say, oh, I'm just going to stop my marketing or stop doing this. And ultimately, if you look at the more savvy builders that have been through downturns, what they'll do is they'll spend more. They'll double down on their marketing. They'll reinvest more, because they know when a downturn happens, you can take market share from competitors. And the only way you can take market share is you have to get more exposure. Because if you have a better closed loop marketing system or a better process for acquiring clients, you can outshine them. A lot of these guys, again, they've reduced their marketing. They're just not paying attention, and they're just hoping for referrals, and just not really good operators. So the best operators will increase budgets. They'll take market share here. And then when the market comes back, they'll actually grow onto another level. So very, very difficult to do. Much easier said than done, especially when you don't see revenue and or profits the way that you like to see them. But you have to have the discipline to, again, step on the gas when it comes to your marketing. Try new things, test them, look at the results, do more of what works, do less of what doesn't. And then you, again, will put yourself in the driver's seat for when the market rebounds. Good point, Drew. Absolutely. So if you would like to talk about your 2026 marketing budget, you can go ahead and schedule your strategy call and find out how we help builders attract, capture, and convert high quality leads so they can pick and choose their clients and jobs. Great episode today, Drew. Thanks for all your insight, and thank you so much for joining us. And for my brothers and sisters in Christ, may the grace of the Lord Jesus Christ, the love of God, and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with you all always.